The Nintendon is here. Wow. I have just gotten back from the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I've had a busy day today, but I was able to get down there, watch this thing, form my thoughts on it. I was thinking about it all the way back home, and man, this is better than the original. So all the critics who were trying to downplay this, trying to say this movie would be a disaster, trying to say the Sonic movie was better. Yeah, you don't know what you're doing. Okay. There are cameo appearances in this that are more relevant than anything Sonic has done in its entire history. Okay. I was thinking about this, looking at all the previews that are coming out, like Toy Story 5, He-Man, I saw, what else was there? Some stupid DreamWorks movie about two lesbians on an island, right? That you look at everything that's coming out this summer, like Supergirl. You see Sonic 4, we saw a trailer for. Like everyone was just kind of sitting there and just being like, this is fucking stupid. Like, show us the movie. I heard kids behind me say that. Like, show us the movie. I actually that's actually really interesting. There were a lot of kids there, okay? Because I know going into this that a lot of people were trying to say it would only be people like Harman Smith going there, like 30-year-old boomers who are just way too obsessed with Star Fox. But no, there were kids there and they were fans. They knew about Zelda, Mario. I saw some little girl dressed like Rosalina and another one dressed like Peach. There were a lot of people there, and it's very, very safe for me to say that yes, this movie is going to be a gigantic hit. And I preface this when this movie was announced, oh yeah, it's going to do better than Toy Story 5, it's going to do better than Hoppers. I think this is probably going to do better than everything else that's coming out this year, because Supergirl is going to be a flop. He-Man is going to have all this baggage with all the endless reboots and the stupid things they've done in the past couple of years. This is the best movie of the year. Okay, forget game of the year. We're covering movie of the year. Okay, and I'm sure the industry is kind of rallying to downplay that. I've seen Grace Randolph come out and she's like, "Oh, Bowser is toxic masculinity." She's trying to claim that Bowser represents the manosphere. It's like, what are you talking about, you stupid bitch? Why do you have a YouTube channel? Why are you a movie critic? Why don't you go to some third-rate feminist college course and give a lecture there? None of us want to hear it. Okay, again, this needs to be said now, is that all the critics don't know what they're talking about. All of them are completely ignorant, not only of the Mario brand as a whole, but what actually happens in this movie. Because one of the things that really bothers me going into this is people doing this thing oh man, it's another illumination movie. It's going to be really fast paced. You're not going to let the characters aren't going to have room to develop. There's not going to be any soul to it. And then you watch it, and especially when you compare it to Monsters and Minions, the other illumination film that they showed a trailer for. What you get is a movie that is better animated, that has better action, that has more interesting characters than anything we have seen recently. Okay, it's very interesting thinking about what they did with the characters here, because you end up really, really appreciating all of them. You see you get Rosalina in the beginning. You get a lot of a lot of setup with things that come later. She protects the Lumas, fails, which is another thing. The whole anti-woke narrative that this movie is subversive woke pop propaganda to emasculate Mario. No. Okay, 100% Mario gets into more fights than Peach in this. And she does have that one big bar fight with the ninjas where she fights the Super Mario Bros. 2 characters, but for the most of it, especially when they're together, Mario does everything, and it's really cool to see. So anyway, Rosalina fights Mega Leg, loses, and ends up getting kidnapped by Bowser Jr. And that's one of the interesting things about this, and something that I do think we need to preface this as fans, is that the movie is in a different continuity from the games, because people went into this expecting a straight up Galaxy adaptation. No. Like, and I don't know why people thought that because, if you look back on Galaxy, it has like two cutscenes in the entire thing, like the opening one and like the ending one. And like, yeah, you could make a movie on it about that, I guess. But what they did, I think, was a little bit more interesting, where they actually, used the Rosalina character in a new way, having her get kidnapped for the first time ever, I believe. She gets kidnapped in this. She does not get kidnapped in the original Mario Galaxy. So, like, she gets kidnapped by Bowser Jr. And, like, another weird deviation from this that I think a lot of people aren't going to give a lot of credit for. Bowser Jr. is the primary antagonist in this, not Bowser. Bowser does this thing where he's kind of like pretending to be good now, and then like goes back to being bad, and then like has doubts about his like his relationship with like the brothers, right? Like they're pretty good guys, like it's interesting. It's so interesting because like Bowser in a sense is like unapologetically evil, but he's also very sympathetic due to like his very genuine relationship with his son. And I feel like for fans of the original, especially people who love Bowser in the original, this might be a bit of a deviation because uh, I do think one of the weirder things about it is how it doesn't really feel as if it like Bowser, I don't think is going to be the fan favorite character in this. Like which is really interesting considering how well received he was in the original. Because in the original he was like allowed to be like himself and like go around just terrorizing people and like kidnapping princesses and stuff. Like he was like the highlight of that movie. In Galaxy, what ends up happening is that because the movie tries to give him some nuance and some character, it kind of just feels rather forced. And I think this is like kind of the weakest thing about it is that like they set up this idea that he's pretending to be good and then like he becomes genuinely good, but like it's set up like it's like meant to be like a uh what should I call like a false flag, like he's gonna like backstab them later, and he does, but it doesn't play out the way you would expect. Where like instead it's like Bowser Jr. talking him back into being evil, having genuine like feelings of like like he's genuinely like grown fond of like the brothers, especially Luigi, who he has a great relationship with. Yeah, it's interesting that they go in this direction to make Bowser a more morally gray character, and instead of doing that thing where they do that like, oh yeah, like he's totally just as good as you and me, bro, like no, he's still a bad guy and still needs to be put down. But like this has a lot of really real like emotional weight to it, because like towards the end they just straight up kill him and he dies, and like Bowser Jr. just freaks out, and like Peach and Mario are just standing there just looking shocked, like what did we just do? Like again, real emotion, real heart to it. But again, like for me, the problem is just like the progression, because like I feel like they spent way too much time like setting up the backstabbing, and then like did this thing where it's like they subvert your expectations too many times, because like they establish that he's just pretending to be good, and then he becomes good, and then he becomes evil again, and it's like I just feel like they got me the first time, but then like they just kept going back and forth on it. And it's like it just feels as if they needed to like go through a draft and like go through Bowser's character arc. Because Junior is like way better antagonist in general, where he's like he has an agenda, he has a plan, he has this like cool dynamic with his dad. Junior is like a really genuinely good antagonist. Honestly, the best he's ever been. But my opinion on this is that like, well, I don't like Junior that much. I've never been a Junior fan. I've always like, preferred other like Bowser minions. Like I've just never been sold on like the Bowser Junior character. And like it's weird because like I think this is gonna get lost in the shuffle of talking about this movie, but like um Bowser Jr. feels like he goes through the same arc he does in Sunshine. Okay, and I think this is something that a lot of people have pointed out, is that this movie takes a lot of elements of Odyssey, but like I think when it comes to the Bowser Jr. stuff specifically, it is very, very similar to Sunshine in like the dynamic with his dad and what they set up and what he does, and like all that. Like it's very Sunshine-esque. And I guess that's like the core of the character because that is where he debuted. But like again, a lot of people are just not really talking about that. Yeah, he just kind of has the paintbrush in this. Like I don't know if they're ever going to explain that, but yeah, he has the paintbrush in this. So like yeah, Bowser Jr. is a pretty effective villain actually. Honestly, I would argue like more so than Bowser was in the first movie because like he feels like this genuine threat. He has this entire armada. Like he somehow has a bigger Koopa troop than Bowser did in the last movie. It's like how did he take his operation and like expand it this much? It just raises all these questions. But like, unlike Bowser, he does actually successfully capture a princess, a far more powerful princess, mind you. He successfully manages to capture Rosalina, which is really interesting because like, like Rosalina spends the entire movie kidnapped. So for those of you who were like trying to do this thing where like this movie is woke because Peach doesn't get kidnapped, well, fuck you. Rosalina's kidnapped the entire runtime. Like she doesn't get saved until the end. And she really goes through the ringer in this. Like you see situations in which, like they threaten the Lumas. She goes through like, the kidnapping. She's like getting tortured to death, essentially. And she's going through all of this, and like one Luma gets away, and it goes to find Princess Peach, and it just goes like, Princess Peach, I have been told about you from Rosalina. And then Peach is just like, I don't know Rosalina. Like Peach has no idea what this thing is talking about. But she goes out anyway, by herself, and she tells the Super Mario Bros. To like stay behind and take care of the Mushroom Kingdom. Okay. That ends up what's happening is that for like a good chunk of the runtime, Peach and the Mario Bros are separated. Peach is going around asking questions, finding leads on Rosalina, and like the Mario Bros stay behind and are involved when like the kingdom gets invaded by Bowser Jr. and starts causing problems. So it's interesting to kind of see like them kind of like establish this where you have like Peach doing her own thing and like the Mario Bros doing their own thing because I feel like a lot of people would make the argument that like nothing happens on the Mario Bros side of things, but like that's really 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 not true. They really do a lot of character moments. They're forming a bond with Yoshi, who is actually probably the funniest character in this. Yoshi, like, I think the hardest I laughed at this was during that sequence during like the New York sequence, because we know in the last movie that like this Yoshi hatched in like the sewers of New York. So what ends up happening? Because we thought this was going to be like the entire like next movie. Like you get like this short like montage of him just cruising around the streets, like getting into all this mayhem. Like he eats like the dog from the first movie. He like goes through a construction site. He starts causing all these problems, and like people just start like chasing him, and then he comes back. It's like it's basically what we expected from like the entire sequel condensed into like one short montage, and it's hilarious. Actually, one of the things uh, okay, so these movies aren't comedies, right? This is the problem that a lot of people have is that they do this thing where they're like, well, they're not that funny though. Like, yeah, because they're not comedies. They're action adventure films. Like, they are, not meant. They have jokes in them, but they're not meant to be super funny. The jokes land way better in this one. So you don't typically have like, the jokes that fall completely flat, like the princess is in another castle one in the original. Like, you generally get like pretty good jokes in this. Like, there are a lot of people laughing in the audience that I was in. Super, super funny movie. So like, anyway, so Yoshi like, comes back and then he's just kind of cruising around. And like, the thing about Yoshi is that like, he's just kind of there. Is just like, Yoshi's great in this, adorable. Like he has all these great moments early on. Like he's just kind of chilling with the brothers. Like, he's like the third member of their duo now. He's like he fits right in immediately. And then like they don't really do a lot with him. Like he shows up in the final fight and like there are sequences where he's there and he's like, involved, but like a lot of it just feels really, really forced. Like it's just like he was there as like an obligation because they set it up from the last film. Because like again, it's weird just like how he's there the entire time and yet he feels like a non-entity because like he doesn't speak in full sentences and it's just like I don't know. like again, I love Yoshi. Love the things they do here with him, but it's just like I don't know. He doesn't feel like a character. He feels like a pet, and he's like the greatest like pet character I've ever seen in my life. But he really does like just act like Mario's dog a lot of the times. It's just like I don't know. I feel like they could have done a lot more with it, but I suppose that's the point that it is a Yoshi, and then it's just like friends with them or whatever. Um, I I think they could have done a little bit more with Yoshi. Okay. Again, so much of it is like focused on Peach. Okay. Like again, they kind of raise this question, in the movie, like where did Peach come from? What is her origin story? And I'm just like, are we actually gonna get an explanation for this last time? Because I remember this happening in like the first movie, and like she looks at the stars and says something about galaxies, and I'm just like, so is she saying she came from another galaxy then? So like yeah, they actually explain that in this one. And this is like balls to the wall, the single worst thing in the movie. Okay? Like I don't understand this at all. It feels like Miyamoto watched like Game Theory's video about how like Rosalina was like Peach and Luigi's daughter from the future and was just like, this is so fucking stupid. I have to retcon this. So like I have to prove this theory wrong. So like, he went out there and like he made this a thing in the movie. And it just the single worst thing about it, like the absolute like worst thing. Oh, by the way. Yeah. So yeah, speaking of the Mario hat, got a ton of compliments there. A kid stopped me and was just like, I love your hat. And then he comes back afterward and he's like, I love your sweatshirt. It's like, yeah, like I said, like it was very well received outfit, I think, today. I everybody loved the hat. Like stop trying to gaslight me. The hat is awesome. So yeah, like I was it was really packed. Like I said, I said this before, but like there were a ton of kids there, and like a lot of them were cosplaying, and like you get this impression that it's gonna be like this huge hit, like the biggest movie of the year. So I don't know how the film industry is gonna downplay this because you already saw like critics doing their thing. You always saw them like doing that thing where they're just like, oh man, this is for fans of the movie. It's not for normal people. I could not disagree with that take more. And I do think that's like, the giant cope regarding this movie now is that it's only for fans. And there were several times with this, when I was watching it, when you see like Rob the Robot, when you see Fox McCloud, when you see like, Wart from Mario 2, you're just kind of like, I don't think kids would be familiar with this, like they have a joke in it about Rob, like, and how he like slowly turns around, and like that got a big laugh out of like older people, but I imagine like kids didn't get it because that's how the toy worked in real life. um like again, there's so many things about this movie that like wouldn't make sense to people who only played Galaxy, but like that's kind of the point, is that it's introducing you to things that aren't necessarily like prevalent in Mario or Mario Galaxy in particular. A lot of people complain about like, well, Fox McCloud's in it, but he's not in Super Mario Galaxy. Like, well, they explain that, like, oh, I got torn through a warp hole and entered another universe. Like that's really all you need. Okay, because in this movie they set up Fox, they set up where he came from, they give a brief lore breakdown, and like considering what he does immediately afterward and how cool he is, the characters even like take a moment to like stop and talk about how cool he is. Kids, even if they've never heard of Star Fox before, are going to become huge fans just because of this portrayal in the movie. Like again, it's just like you're going to see a lot of this, I think, where a lot of kids are going to go back and start like researching the characters in these movies and learning about the games they come from, and learning more about them. So like I think in a lot of ways we're going to see like Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, and the Mario Galaxy. Like I went to Best Buy around like 11. Like I was getting ready to pick up my groceries, so I was just like, oh, I'll stop at Best Buy. I go to Best Buy and I look around, and it's like you see like all these ads for like Nintendo Switch 2. Like you see ads for Mario Galaxy, you see ads for like Mario Wonder, Mario Tennis, and what was the other? Yeah, for Switch 2 as a whole, right? Like you're seeing all these ads, with this like $1 billion movie in theaters right now, and you get this sense that like Nintendo sales are gonna spike, and it's gonna spike hard, especially for Mario products. But I think there's gonna be like a big bump when it comes to Switch 2 and Star Fox related stuff as well. Like I would not be surprised if we like get confirmation that a new Star Fox project is in the works in by June. Okay, and I've been saying this since like this was Star Fox's role in the movie was confirmed, but like I do think considering his role in this and like considering like the effort they went to it, they give a brief lore breakdown of who he is and stuff like that. Like, Fox is not only coming back, he's gonna have a built-in audience of people who saw this movie. Again, like this is gonna be the birth of a lot of new Star Fox fans for a lot of people. Let's see. Pretending is gonna cry so much. Yes, absolutely. He is gonna be so salty. Like he tried. Okay, so Nintending is legit going to midnight screenings of movies and then going on Twitter immediately afterward to complain about them. This fucker went and saw this movie before I did. Now the only reason I didn't go to a midnight screening was because I had to be somewhere in the morning. But like, I have a life. Okay, Nintending took the time to go to a midnight screening just so he could come back on immediately and start his grift. Like again, I don't know. Like this guy is kidding him, is deluding himself if he thinks that people aren't going to realize that he owns a Switch 2. Like again, this is a problem with these people is that they can't criticize Nintendo products without engaging with it in a reasonable capacity. And if you engage with it, that means you're a fan and that you have to give Nintendo money. So it's like again, it's just a giant grift. It doesn't gonna make any sense. Yeah, yeah. Peach does kiss Mario in the end. Yeah. So the entire point of this movie is that like Mario's ready to move past like the just friend stage, and he's kind of nervous to ask Peach out, but then in the end she kisses him, and like that's the implication is that they're together now. So yeah, so much for that entire cope that like Mario was friend zoned. Okay, like that was always really stupid, and I'm glad to see that like get shot in the head like old Yeller. Um, like, yeah, Nintendine went and saw this before the Nintendon, before Harman Smith, before me. Like, that's just me. Like, I don't know, like, who is this guy trying to fool? Like, really? Really? Like, I don't know what he said about the movie. I didn't see his review of it. Like, I went dark for like a day before I could go see it, but like, yeah, overwhelmingly I really love the movie. Like overwhelmingly it's great. It has like so one of the things about it, uh this has the best action scenes out of any animated film out today. Like and I said that about the original too, but I think Galaxies is quite a bit better because it's able to like have different characters, they have different powers, they're able to showcase their unique abilities more. Donkey Kong is not in this. You get like a split second cameo of him like causing problems in New York. I guess he's like getting ready to kidnap Pauline or something. But yeah, you see him for like 3 seconds and he doesn't even have a line of dialogue. And there's so many characters in this that a lot of people won't even notice. But like, yeah, Donkey Kong and like other Kongs are not in this. I imagine because they're gonna get their own movie later on down the line. So like, yeah, um, in the original, it felt kind of like a lot of the action was kind of similar to each other, or that Mario had to go through the training process to learn how to be the hero or whatever. You don't have that in this. Like right off the bat, you're getting all these intense sequences of like the brothers beating the shit out of people, of getting into these fight scenes, of like these really unique, interesting scenarios. You get like Fox versus Bowser Jr. essentially. Fox is in the R-wing, like flying around, shooting people, and yeah, Fox actually loses because he gets shot down, and like because of contrived, because of contrived circumstances. It's interesting to kind of see like them utilize these different kinds of action and like implement them so well. I mean, I'm not a fan of the way they incorporate like the Mario elements because like a lot of times like they just give characters power ups like, oh yeah, there's a question mark block now, let's hit it and use that, like whatever's in there. It's like it just feels kind of forced. Like it feels too video gamey, honestly. Like I hated this about the original movie too, where like you don't have like organic looking like platform structures. You have like literal fucking platforms like you would see in a video game. And it's like I don't know. There's being authentic and true to the source material, and then there's being that. Like they go to great lengths to like change the lore and like the personality of some of the characters in this to fit like the film medium. And then they do stuff like that where it's just like, like they're just floating platforms for no reason. It's just really weird. Oh yeah. The monkey. Yeah. So like there's a monkey in this movie called Kiki. And like for a minute there, I was looking at this thing and I'm just like, that can't be the monkey from A Link to the Past, the one that you need to get into the Dark Temple. And like I was thinking about it for a minute, and I'm just like, no, it's the monkey from Mario 64. Like, what the hell is this thing doing here? Like, again, it's just like this can't, like, I don't know why they turned this random monkey into a character in this, but it's there, and it's like it plays a major role in setting up like Peach versus Wart. Wart's in this too. Which again kind of disappointing because this is like the most relevant thing Wart's done in like decades. Okay, it's been a meme about how he doesn't appear that often. So he appears and he's just a generic like minion for Bowser. He has no personality. He has no presence. Like Peach beats him, by shoving vegetables down his throat. Like you did in Super Mario Bros. 2. But it's like I don't know. It just felt like a wasted character. Like Mouser's there, Birdo's there. Like you got like all these Super Mario Bros. 2 characters, and it's just like they don't really do anything besides like fight Peach and lose. Like I just like I don't know, man. Yeah, Peach's fight scene was so over the top that I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. This doesn't really suit the tone. Like usually it's a bit more grounded. Like you actually see characters like, realistically win and lose fights, but like I don't know. Peach just so overwhelmingly stomped those guys. It was kind of ridiculous. Yeah. So let's see. So yeah, the animation looked good. It looked great. The locations. Uh, you see like quite a few locations in this. You got the Mushroom Kingdom. You do see a little bit of New York when Yoshi goes back. You do see like a little bit of like the different galaxies, and like it just again one of my weird like criticisms of this, like it doesn't feel like Super Mario Galaxy. Like you see very little like launch stars and like moving around planets. Like again, like you do get a little bit of like the anti-gravity stuff where like you have this casino and it's like it's built into the walls and the ceilings, and I'm just kind of like, that is a really cool unique set. Okay, that's a really cool unique like location, but it's like it doesn't really go beyond that. Like Rosalina's there and like the anti-gravity stuff. Like you see very little of like getting into warp stars and like blasting off. In fact, I don't think you ever see that in like the movie. Like I think that's how Peach leaves the planet, is that she uses a Luma to blast off, but like after that they use the R-Wing. It's like it's weird. It's Super Mario Galaxy, but they're going from planet to planet in an R-Wing. Like they couldn't just use the Lumas. Like again, like the Luma's presence in this is very, very weird because they're not really that relevant. Like they're there, like, but it's like you would think they would play like more pivotal roles. Like other than that first one that comes to Peach in the beginning and the ones that rescue them off that like dinosaur planet, before the climax, it's like, what do they do? What do they do? It's it's weird. It's very, very strange, like the angles they take with some of this. Um yeah, as a whole though, like watching it, it's very, very, very entertaining. And I think this is like the thing that people don't understand about it. The thing that like makes critics like completely obsolete is that this is an extremely entertaining movie where like it constantly has good action, it has consistently good animation, great characters, like it's fun to watch. And I think this is something that like most critics don't understand, is that like when you compare this to like most other films, when you compare this to like I don't know, James Cameron's Avatar where nothing happens, or like the average Avengers movie, like the thing that sticks out to me about this is just how radically different it is from the original, where it does not follow the same template. It takes the characters in new, interesting directions. Like it does not feel like a rehash of the original. It doesn't end the same way. The characters are more competent now. You see like a lot more like of Luigi doing things in this too. That was a major criticism in the original film, but Luigi does do a lot more in this film as opposed to like what he did in the original. It comes together really, really, really nicely. And I do think that like there's really only one thing that like I had a problem with, like a really serious problem with. Like my big epic like problem with this movie. I don't know. Should I explain it? Should I explain the big massive spoiler that ruins Mario Galaxy lore for like all of time? Like it's bad. Like it is bad. Like straight up game theory tier, like fan fiction bullshit. Like this is so bad. I have no idea how this ever got off the writing room floor. Like I don't know. They must have been planning it since the first movie, but like it just drives me nuts. Like the actual in-universe explanation to Princess Peach's origin. Okay, because like this is something that was brought up in the movie, in the first movie, right? And it's obviously not something that like the games have ever brought up or addressed. And like I hope that this does not become canon. Okay, like I desperately hope this does not become canon. But the actual explanation as to where Princess Peach came from in Super Mario Galaxy, the movie, is that she and Rosalina are sisters and are both made of stardust, which of course is like completely lore breaking and makes no sense. Like, what are you talking about? Stardust? Like, Rosalina was a normal girl before she took off into space. She became who she was by eating a diet of star bits. Okay, like she was born hundreds of years before Peach, apparently. But like, you're supposed to imply that they're sisters. Like, really? Who are the parents? Like, what is this bullshit? Like, I don't understand this like line of thought. Cause like I know people have been like speculating on them being related for years. Like I said, like that stupid game theory video about like Peach and Luigi's daughter being from the future. Uh like I I look at this and I'm just kind of like, what sense does this make? Like this is like the seriously like the worst thing they've done in these movies so far. Like 100% full stop. Hated this twist. And like honestly, I do have to come out and say that like the movies have to be non-canon at this point because this is just so far off base from what happens in like the actual games that I have like a very real problem with it. Like, is this really what they're gonna go with going forward? Like, are kids gonna think this? Like growing up, that like Peach is Rosalina's sister because of the movie? Are they gonna make it canon? Because it's not. Like this is like the worst retcon they've ever made. I don't know, man. This is like I get that they changed the characters over time, but like I really have started to feel like a lot of their recent changes aren't for the better. Like I think modern DK is just kind of like I did not like Bonanza as much as Donkey Kong Country Returns. I did not like the design. I did not like the personality. I didn't feel like it added a whole lot. And this is even worse than that. Like you were trying to tell me that Rosalina is Peach's sister. Like, okay, then why didn't that come out in Galaxy? Like, are you gonna have kids playing Galaxy for the first time and then being like, wait, why isn't Rosalina talking about how she's Peach's sister? Like, is that gonna happen? Well, I mean, I've seen people like make jokes about like people showing up being confused about Star Fox not being in it, but like I don't think anyone's going to be put off too much by that. Like this to me is like the big egregious thing. Like the thing that just drives me nuts is this like making them sisters. And it's really frustrating too cuz like it's actually in the movie's continuity it makes perfect sense. They set it up like, it gets a good payoff. Peach is actually the one that rescues Rosalina while like Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi fight the Bowsers. Uh, and like that's really sweet and it's heartwarming. Luigi even says that, but it's like, did she have to be her sister though? Like, what does her being her sister really add to the continuity? And like, what does being made of stardust mean? You're telling me that like they have magical powers now that like Peach has never demonstrated in any game ever. like I'm just so confused about like the set like about like the process behind this, because I thought they were gonna like subvert it somehow and just be like, oh yeah, Rosalina was just looking after you when you were a baby or something like that. But like, no, they went with this direction, like where she's her sister. Oh, by the way, Rosalina's way cuter than Peach in this. By the way, Rosalina is best girl for sure. She even fixes Fox's warp drive when he gets when they meet, so like he can go home and be in his own movie. But like again, I'm just like I'm very confused about this turn, and I really genuinely hate it. Like it pisses me off, and I'm gonna try not to be a boomer about it and like ruin it for kids, because I grew up with people spurging out about like Ganon wasn't a Ganon was originally a pig monster. Like I hate that bullshit. So like I hated that bullshit growing up. So I suppose that if this is the direction they're gonna go in now, I'm just gonna have to accept it. But like I don't like it like at all. It's like it triggers my autism in a big way. Not a big fan of it. Is there anything else to say about it? Um, the Yeah, everything about it. I do think it's safe to say this is the best video game adaptation ever made. Because I'd say it's quite a bit better than the first movie. For the most part, like I think Bowser's characterization kind of suffered for a bit, but like they show a different angle for his character, and I think in like the next one, if they can like strike that balance better, like, and I suppose they won't have to build up the whole like son relationship thing, which I think is the problem, is that they spent like a lot of time with like setting up their dynamic when like if Bowser Jr. was in the first movie, they wouldn't have had to do that. So I feel like that's just something that hopefully won't be a problem in the next movie. So like again, yeah, so we got like teasers for the next movie. Bowser and like Bowser Jr. are in prison right now. Bowser got he got the new Super Mario Bros. Treatment where he should have got his skin melted off and still came back to keep fighting, which was Kino, by the way. I was just talking the other day about how badass that was in New Super Mario Bros. I don't know if I said I wanted it to happen again in the movie, but like man, if I did, I called it. Really badass. You get this really great climax, really great end game fight scene, way better than the original. I love the original fight, but like that one did kind of come off like a bit too much like a Deus Ex Machina with the Power Star and like clobbering all the minions. This one was a bit more like an actual fight, and you really get this like really cool, like genuine, like moment of Mario like rescuing Bowser Jr. from his own creation when Bowser's incapable of doing it. So like Mario kind of demonstrating like what a hero he is. It's great. So like you get the post credit scene. You get like you get like Fox, he goes off into the sky, and then like the monkey steals someone else's stuff, and Princess Daisy shows up and punches him. So Daisy's gonna be in the next one, and I don't know, like I guess the company wants to start pushing Daisy more as like the face of the company, because like she's just so much more popular than Peach. I don't know if like that's something they're aware of, but like it feels like in America at least that Daisy is like significantly more popular than Peach. And I don't know if it's because she's a hoe or because like women like her more or relate to her more, but like Daisy for whatever reason is like always been more popular than Peach over here. So Daisy is in the third one, so I'm not sure what they're gonna do. Like, are they gonna like? I guess they could do Super Mario Bros. 3 and then have like the different kingdoms, and maybe Daisy's part of that kingdom or whatever. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do with her. Luigi has this line about like Peach introducing him to a friend, so I guess that's what they're going with. Like Luigi and Daisy are gonna be a thing in that movie. I guess it's better than Sonic 3. Yeah. All the Mario movies are better than all the Sonic movies. Yeah. Yeah, nothing Sonic's been in has ever been good. Yeah. So yeah, definitely better than any of the Sonic movies. I know a lot of Sonic fans have been coming out and like saying otherwise, but like 100% yeah. Like the Mario movies are better than the Sonic movies. Yes. So yeah, so Daisy's going to be in the next one. And what I want to know is like what she's gonna do, what her role is gonna be. Cause like I don't know. Yoshi is interesting because like they set up Yoshi to do a very specific thing in the teaser last time, and then the end result is like something completely different. Like so I imagine they're gonna do something different with Daisy in 3, but I don't know what it's gonna be. I don't know like what we're gonna see from her. Like I don't know what they're gonna do. Like Super Mario Land? Like are they gonna bring Tatanga back? Like they didn't bring him back in Galaxy. Like I don't know. I feel like if they were gonna do Tatanga, Galaxy would have been like the more sensible place to do it. But like I don't know. Is she gonna be in like the Luigi's Mansion movie? Because that's one of the weird things about Daisy. She hasn't appeared in a Luigi's Mansion yet. Like again, like it seems like after her playable appearance in Wonder that like Daisy is finally starting to like enter like first string Mario character status as opposed to like second string like Wario, DK, like um those guys. So I don't know, man. Like I guess she's gonna be a series mainstay going forward, but like I don't know. I don't know if like how they're gonna make that work, and it's just kind of strange. It's just kind of weird. It's just kind of makes no sense. Like especially because like I don't know, like what is Daisy's relationship to Peach anyway? Because like a lot of people, like I've seen people say they're sisters or cousins or like what the fuck are they? Like I don't, do they know each other? They don't specify in the movies. I guess they're keeping it intentionally vague, but like oh yeah, by the way, I don't like her design in this because she looks kind of like tan and she has this like really chubby face. Like she doesn't look that good. I don't know. Maybe she'll lose weight by the next movie, but like not a big fan of her look in this. I don't know. I really hope like dark skinned Daisy doesn't become like the norm. I kind of hate the idea. But like yeah, I don't know like I don't know what they're gonna do with the character. Like with Yoshi, they had like a pretty good like like oh yeah, he just hatches and then hangs out with Mario. Like that's it. But like with Daisy, I'm just like, what are they even gonna do with her? It just I don't know. I'm not thrilled about Daisy like being like the center point of like the next movie, but like Yoshi wasn't the center point of this movie, so I guess they're just teasing her for whatever reason. I don't know. So yeah, I generally really like the movie. I think this is going to be the biggest movie of the year. I do think Disney's quaking in their boots and like all their shows are going to run damage control. I expect like Angry Joe is going to do a video spurging out. I expect like all these people are going to make videos like downplaying it. I don't know what like everyone else is saying, but like this movie is not only a huge hit, it is the next step forward for Nintendo dominating the entertainment industry. I don't know where this is going to be in the highest grossing films ever list, but like I hope they at least like outperform all the Disney films so we can like move past that milestone and start talking about like putting out the highest grossing film ever made. I'm definitely anxious for that to happen, but we'll have to see like what they do with that going forward. I just really feel as if like um this movie was a hit. I really enjoyed it. I'm not sure what I would have done like differently, honestly. Like again, I think my main complaint is that like Fox is one of the best characters in this. He's so funny, he's cool, and yet it doesn't feel like he does a whole lot. I don't know. Like I get that like they wanted it was just kind of a cameo appearance, but like they could have done a little bit more with him. I think. It, other than that, though, like I mean, we're talking about a character that's going to get his own movie at some point, so like I'm very excited for that. I don't know where the series is going to go from here, actually, because we're getting the Zelda movie next year, which is going to be like its own segregated thing, I imagine, and then we're going to get like people are talking about the Donkey Kong movie, so I imagine that's going to be 2028's movie, and then like I guess 29 is going to be Mario 3, and then like I don't know, the Pikmin are in this, But like they don't. Yeah, 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 yeah. People made a big deal about like Pikmin being in this, but they don't do anything outside of being a cameo appearance. Like Fox has a way more relevant role in the plot. Like the Pikmin don't do shit. Nintendo isn't a film company. Yeah, so Nintendo is like destroying Disney on their own turf. Okay, so they've won the console war, they dominated the world of gaming, and now they're like branching out into like film production, and they're just stomping Disney. They're making better movies than them, more efficiently, and like there's just nothing Nintendo, Disney can do. Like we're gonna see like the Legend of Zelda be bigger than Star Wars. I think it's gonna be great. He's literally doing the get excited for next product. Yes, because I like the movie. Like, what are you talking about? Like, oh man, I like a movie. Wow, Inside Out 2. Wow, the bit one of the biggest films that Disney's ever produced after 70 years of doing this, over 100 years of doing this. Like, who are you trying to fool? Okay, like the Mario movie came close to eclipsing every single. Oh, by the way, Inside Out came out after the Mario movie. So, yeah, the Mario movie did better than everything other than like the Lion King remake and I believe Frozen 2 when it came out. And then like, Disney ran damage control. They got the numbers for Zootopia 2 and Inside Out 2. Actually, that's something I need to make a video on. Actually, is I imagine a big reason why Disney's toned down the gay propaganda is because they're desperately trying to get more people to come to their movies to get the numbers up so they can like stay on top. I imagine that's like a big like thing they're scared of right now. I would not be surprised if that's why Bob Iger retired. Is that he saw Mario coming for him and he was just like, "I'm out, guys. I'm out. I can't handle this. I am hanging up my cap." But like, yeah, um, it is. It's gonna be great seeing like all these Disney movies just kneel to Nintendo. It's gonna be fantastic. I've been waiting for this my entire life. Disney is like the worst thing that's ever happened to America. The Disney adults are gonna see. Like I am super ecstatic about like the future of Nintendo products. It's just fantastic. So yeah, yeah, we do have to like move on from like PlayStation and Xbox because they don't matter. They're not competitive like they never were. They're not like relevant anymore. Like we need to start talking about taking down Disney. We needed to start like talking about taking down like the Western entertainment enterprise. Like we need to start talking about like taking down talk shows and like people like Stephen Colbert, and like Lord of the Rings and like Amazon and shit like that. Like again, that's like the next major step for Nintendo to take, and they're kind of already there. But like, yeah, it's going to be a while before people kind of accept what's happening, and that's kind of what you're doing here, is trying to say that like, well, Inside Out 2 was really popular, like it was coasting off of Disney brand name recognition. It was not a good movie in its own right. Again, that's the problem Disney has now, is that they have to endlessly pump out sequels that nobody wanted or asked for. Walt said this: we can't keep putting out sequels, and we should never produce sequels ever. And the modern company like threw that out the window for shekels, and that's where they got them. Is that like they are creatively bankrupt? Shekels, and that's where they got them. Yeah, I do need to put more effort into like banning people again, because like you just get like a bunch of people who are just like out of touch and just like Nintendo's never gonna beat Disney. Like, what Disney video game console have you played? Like, don't don't be ridiculous. Yeah, anybody comparing this to the Sonic the Hedgehog movies is like delusional. Like the Mario movie by itself like grossed more than like all three Sonic movies combined. So obvious, like there is no rivalry between them. So like I don't want to hear Sonic's name brought up in regards to this like ever. So yeah, that's kind of my mentality on it. Um yeah, Nintendo won. They won the console war. They're winning the movie war. And we'll have to see what's next. And like it feels like we're gonna see a lot of people coping about this. Like I'm very curious as to who's like supportive of the Mario movie and who is trying to downplay it. Like, I'm very curious on what we see like in the future in regards to this. But like, until then, I will see you all next time. Thank you. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, donate to my Patreon, buy my books.